Welcome, friends. My name is Adrien. Thank you for joining me for this full moon yoga flow. Even if you are not practicing it when it's currently the full moon, you can still get the benefits of this flow, getting like all that stimulation and that energy, and a great way to bring flexibility into your body. So we're going to start first by coming into your comfortable seat, whether you are sitting with the legs crossed or out long. And then we're just going to take a couple moments to kind of sway and adjust and get yourself grounded into your space. And then once you're ready to come to that tall spine, we're going to bring the hands together. So we're going to bring those palms together. We're going to find this really fun movement, a little moving meditation with the hands that I really love to just stimulate the body. So we're just going to bring the hands first kind of towards the navel area. And we're going to part the fingertips so we create almost like a cup here, a lotus flower. So that pinky is touching, the thumb is touching, and the three fingers are parted. So bringing this down to our navel, we're going to take the hands and we're going to bring that cup all the way up. And then when it comes towards the third eye, we'll bring the palms together. We're going to turn the hands so that the backs of the hands are facing towards each other. And then we're going to take this downward current of energy back down towards the navel. And then we're simply going to turn the palms back again, create that lotus mudra. With that inhale, we'll take the hands up to about that third eye area. Flip the hands so that the backs of the palms are touching, and then slowly take that downward current of energy towards the navel. Now invite this movement here, close the eyes down, and think about that inhale, taking that lotus up, and then those fingertips with the backs of the hands touching down. That inhale as we raise up, nice and slow. And then that exhale as we take it back down. A few more times at your own pace. Just one more time, taking that lotus mudra, taking the flower up, turning the back of the hands, and bringing it all the way. Then just release the palms to the knees, close the eyes for just a few more moments, then notice if that little bit of movement and that breath helps settle you into your practice. Then gentle the eyes open. We're going to take the legs. If you have them folded in, just take them out long for a moment. Get a little bit of movement in the legs. Get the blood flow back in. And then we're going to draw the soles of the feet together. Knees are going to come wide. You can make any adjustments, bringing the heels closer in or a little further out, just depending on what's feeling okay for the hips. Then we're going to take the hands to the knees. And then we're going to bring the chest over from one knee center to the other knee, and then as we come back, we'll tip back on the tailbone, holding on to those knees, and then come back all the way around. So making these circles, creating this Sufi grind shape, just a little bit different with having the legs in our Baddha Konasana. And then feel free to get the elbows involved, the shoulders, and the head involved by bending deeply, making this fluid. The next time that you come upright, we'll just switch direction, taking the chest over to the opposite knee, rounding to the other knee, then swiveling on back and through. And then come all the way back up to that tall spine. We're going to slide the hands down towards that top of shin area. And we're going to use these shins kind of as if I like to think about like if you're holding on to a bar, if you're in a bar class. And you're going to use those shins for leverage. And we're going to hold on to those legs. And we're going to bring that chest through in a cow-like movement. So that chest lifts forward. Then we'll tuck that chin in and use those legs kind of hold on to as leverage and round back. Inhale. Pump that chest through. Open up through the heart. Maybe take the gaze up. Exhale. Dive that chin in towards the chest. Round. Hold on to those shins. And then continue at your own pace, pulling that chest through and rounding back. Creating that cat-cow movements through the spine and using those legs to hold on to. And as always, throughout your practice, if there's a space, a time that you can just hold and stay for a few breaths when it feels nice and a good deep stretch, then you can definitely do that. Listening to your own body and the cues for what it's asking for. Just a few more times. And then coming back up to that tall spine, still keeping the shape with the legs, we're going to cross the hands over and create an X shape. Doesn't matter which hand is on top. We're going to create this X shape here, and then we're going to take that right hand, we're going to reach it up and over. Take it over towards that shoulder area, maybe a little beyond, holding on to that leg once again for a little extra support. Then we're going to bring that hand around, take the chin in towards the chest and round in. That opposite arm is going to lift up, taking it maybe beyond the shoulder, and then that gaze follows the thumb back. And then a couple times, we're going to come in, tuck that chin in, take the arm up, opening up through side body, and then tuck back in. Couple times at your own pace again. Complete one more round on each side. And we're just going to take the hands, we're going to hold on to the tops of the toes, or maybe bring the palms a little further forward in front of the feet, and then come into a bow here. Tuck the chin in towards the chest, and spend a few moments, maybe swaying a little bit side to side. Maybe pressing into the palms, and then lowering back down. Again, listen to the intuition of what your body is asking for. Maybe it's craving stillness and you just want to hold on to those toes and bow down, breathing deep, opening up the back door of the heart. Or maybe that little sway and rock feels lovely. And then pressing through the palms, go ahead and come all the way back up. Take the hands to the outside of the knees and simply zip the knees in towards each other. We're going to wrap around and come to our hands and knees here. Again, feel free to pat up those knees if you need a little extra support by taking a blanket or a towel underneath. Hands are going to come underneath the shoulders, and knees are going to be right underneath the hips. And we're going to find that cat-cow creation like we just did a moment ago, that same shaping where we press into the earth and round deeply. Then release the belly down and take that gaze up skyward. And then returning to a neutral tabletop position, taking that right leg back, we're going to tuck the toe under, then lift that foot up off the earth. Opposite hand is going to come forward, thumb is facing up, and then reach those fingertips towards the front of your mat and that heel towards the back of your mat. Invite that little shake in the body. Then press the palm down onto the earth. Draw that knee in towards the chest. Round the nose towards the knee. Then step or carry that foot to the front of the mat. Coming up into our low lunge. Since we're just starting out, let's take the hands first, cup the top of the thigh, and slowly come on up. Then raising the fingertips up and overhead, plug the shoulders down and breathe deep. Then we're going to take this right hand, we're going to bring it around to the low back towards that left hip, and then we're going to reach that extended hand, that left hand back. Take the hand from the low back, reach the fingertips up. Then take both hands down to frame that front foot. Tuck the back toe, raise the back knee up. Then we're going to straighten that front leg, nose comes down towards the knee, little pyramid variation. Take a breath here. And we're going to take that back foot and we're going to pivot it so that that heel is lining up with the front heel. Bend into that front knee and very slowly take the arms up. Big transition to come into warrior two. Make any adjustments with the feet that you need to here. And then take a gaze over that middle finger of that front hand. We're going to lean forward. Then rock it back, reverse your warrior. Bending into that front forearm, taking the forearm to the top of the thigh, and then taking that left arm and reaching up and over the head, coming into an extended side angle. We're going to take this upper hand and we're going to bring it down towards the earth. Both hands come down, and we're going to walk towards the center, turning towards the middle of the mat. Then that back knee, we're going to bend and either come down into your skandasana, or maybe you just need to stay up here and just come into this side lunge. So feel this opening. We're going to turn the toes towards the ceiling on that opposite foot. Then very slowly coming around towards the center, turn the big toes in towards each other. Take a rest down, a fold down in the middle of the mat into this wide-legged forward fold. Inhaling. Open mouth, exhale, discharge, let it go. Then rise up onto the fingertips, walk the hands towards the front of the mat, turn the toes to the facing forward, little runner's lunge. Stepping back foot up to meet front foot, melt down into a forward fold. Coming into your version of halfway lift. Melt down again to fold. Bend the knees, press to the feet, take the arms up, sweeping them up and overhead. And then once the palms are overhead, have them meet and come into heart center. Pause for a breath. Inhale, reaching fingertips back up and overhead. Swan dive all the way down, back into that forward fold. Planting hands onto the earth. Step one foot back, then the other foot back, downward facing dog. Lower the knees down to the earth and meet me once again in this tabletop position. We're going to come back to that flow in just a moment, but first, go ahead and take the hips down towards the heels. Think about an active child's pose. Then we're going to walk both hands, cross them over to that left side of the mat, and then take the hips over to the right side. Rise back up, walk the hands to center, then walk them over to the right side of the mat. As those left hips sink over towards the left side, so both hips over towards that left side. Coming all the way back up, bring the palms underneath the shoulders, and then just rinse out through a cat cow. Meeting in that tabletop position, we're going to take that left foot back and behind, toe tucks down onto the earth. Then raise that heel to hip height. Keep pressing that heel back and the toes dial down. Opposite hand is going to reach forward. Thumb is up, And take a breath here. Pressing those fingertips and crown of head forward and that heel back. Releasing that palm down to the earth. That extended leg is going to come through. Knee comes in towards the nose and round. Then step or carry that foot to the front of the mat. Cup the tops of the thighs with the hands and very slowly come up to that tall spine. Reaching fingertips up and overhead. Plug the shoulders down and in and breathe. This time taking that left hand around towards the low back on the right side. And then we're going to take that right thumb and we're going to tip it back here. Release the hand from the low back, reach the fingertips up. Bow forward, take the palms forward to frame that front foot. Tuck the back toe, raise the back knee, straighten that front leg, coming into a little pyramid here. Back foot lines up with that front heel. Bend into the front knee and come on up into that warrior two. Arms come into that T shape. Bending into the knee, making any adjustments with the feet. Then we're going to lean slightly forward, rock on back, and reverse your warrior. Forearm comes to the top of the thigh. That back arm reaches up, stack the shoulder, coming into your extended side angle. The upper hand comes down to the inside of that left foot. Both hands come down. We're going to pivot and turn towards the back of the mat. Got my booty to you. And then towards the back of the mat, we're going to come into either the side lunge or your skandasana, whatever is accessible in your practice. Those front toes can turn up towards the ceiling. Then very slowly making our way midway through the mat, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Toes are pressing in towards each other. Heels are a little wider than the feet. Take a breath here. Maybe even take a discharge breath, that nice loud exhale, or you can even do horsey lips here where you inhale in and walk the hands towards the front of the mat. Pivot the toes so that they are facing forward, little runner's lunge. Back foot steps up to meet front foot, meet down into that fold. Your version of halfway lift. Bend the knees, sweep the fingertips down to come up, reaching fingertips up and overhead, palms meet, and they come into heart center. Take a pause here, and a breath, inhale, and then exhale out. Inhale, reaching fingertips up. Lead with the chest to float all the way down into your forward fold. Plant the hands onto earth. Step one foot back, and the other foot back, downward facing dog. Lower the knees down to the earth, tabletop position. Walk the hands over towards that left side of mat. Send the hips over towards the right side of the mat. Rise on up, take the hands to center, hips to center. Then the hands walk over towards the right side. And then the hips fall over towards that left side. Rise on up, walk the hands back underneath the shoulder heads. Little round of cat-cow. Meaning in that neutral tabletop position, same ditty, we're just going to go a little bit faster, extending that left foot back, lifting the heel up off the earth, bringing that right hand forward. Palm comes down, knee comes in towards nose, nose towards knee and round. Then step or carry the foot to the front of the mat. Sweep the hands up, reaching fingertips up, plug the shoulders. That right hand comes around to the low back towards the left side, and we take those left thumbs back, or that left thumb reaching back. Oh, it feels so good for that front hip flexor. Both fingertips reach up. Bow down, take the palms down to frame that foot. Tuck that back toe, hover that back knee up. Then straighten the front leg, nose down towards the knee. Back heel pivots and turns, lining up with that front heel. Nice, big, strong arms, strong legs come up into your warrior two. Lean forward, rock back, reverse your warrior. Bend the elbow, forearm comes to the top of that thigh, back arm lifts. That hand comes around towards the earth. Both hands sink down. We're going to walk towards the back of the mat, turning those back toes out and maybe just coming into that side lunge or coming all the way down into your skandasana. Maybe here you play for another moment. Maybe you try it out and lift up the hands towards the heart, or you can even find a little twist here if that feels good. Hands are down to the earth. We're going to crawl the fingers towards the center. Turn the toes in towards each other, heels nice and wide. Take the head down heavy. Inhaling in. And discharge that exhale. Horsey lips or that loud exhale, let it go. See that again, inhaling in. And discharge that exhale, let it go. Walk the hands towards the front of the mat. Turn both toes to face towards the front. Step that back foot up to meet front foot and meet me in a fold. Halfway lift. Hold back down. Bend the knees, press to the heels, root your eyes, reach the fingertips up and overhead, palms meet above the head, and they gently come into heart center. Pause and notice what's going on with the body. Inhale, reaching fingertips up. Exhale, hold all the way back down. Plant the hands onto earth. Step one foot back, then the other foot back, downward facing dog. Knees come down to kiss the earth. Walk both hands over towards the right side. Sass that hip over towards the left side and pause here. Make your way back up, walk the hands to center, then take them on over towards that left side as the hips sink over towards the right. Rise on up, walk the hands towards the center, coming into that tabletop position. Round deeply into your couch pose. Lower the belly down to the knees up in your cow. Being in tabletop position, taking that left foot back, lift the heel up off the earth, press that heel back as we take that right hand forward. The hand comes down, knee comes in towards the chest and round. Then step or carry that foot to the front of the mat. Sweep the hands up, lean back here. Bringing that left hand over towards the right, low back, and then reach that right hand back. Both hands come up. Hinge forward, take the hands down to frame that foot. Tuck the back toe, hover the back knee, and straighten the front knee, nose down towards the knee. Back heel lines up with front heel. Bend into the front knee, sweep the hands up to come into that warrior two. Lean forward, rock back, reverse your warrior. Take forearm to the top of the thigh. As we reach that back hand, stacking shoulders, gaze can be up, neutral, or down. Hands come down to the earth. We walk the hands towards the back foot. Coming into this Skandasana, or maybe just that side lunge. Feel free to play here for a moment, maybe finding that twist, or maybe even finding that balance by bringing the palms together and staying up on that foot. Coming around towards the center, mid toes towards each other, heels wide, head heavy, bow down. Raise up onto the fingertips, then walk the hands towards the front of the mat, runner's lunge. Step that back foot up to meet front foot and melt down into that fold. Halfway lift, then fold back down. Press through the heels, bend through the knees, sweep the fingertips up above the head, palms meet above the head, and then gentle into heart center. Take an inhale, and an exhale. Reaching hands back up and overhead, fold all the way back down into your forward fold. Plant the hands, this is our last dog, step back. Bring the knees down to the earth. Swing the legs around to the side and come down onto your bottoms. Bringing legs back to that space where we began. Roll the shoulders up towards the ears. Release them down the back body. And then just close the eyes down here for a moment. Taking a moment of quiet just to soak in all the nourishment of your practice. Feel the effects of that magic. Palms meet at heart center. I'm going to close our practice today by thanking you so much for joining me and sharing your time and your energy. The light within me shines and honors the light within you. Thank you again, and namaste.